years. Previously, I led a team in Vietnam to develop a food platform back in 2016, where the trend of food platform was growing very strong, right? And then it was later on acquired by Tencent. And the last valuation by SoftBank was at 2 billion. So it's still a unicorn. Right now, I'm doing another platform, but this time also something close to my interest, which is esports. And the reason why I choose Vietnam as the focus country first is because of a low CAC cost, but also primarily the reason is because blockchain and esports is now top the chart across Southeast Asia. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get there very shortly. Talking about esports and Web3. So you have started, I think, mostly in the Web2 space. So what exactly? I mean, this is a side question, but what exactly has led you to this Web3 space and to create gems as a side
So
question?
yeah, thanks a lot, Nico. So previously, right, I've been doing a lot of offline esports tournament, but then later on, I realized that there's a systematic change in terms of the gamers that are moving more to more casual gaming, and that's where esports make it more exciting. So I'm seeing more community tournaments will be getting more and more common. For the past 2 years, we didn't really have much esports platform because of the COVID, but I think after the COVID, the esports has come back again, which is why I wanted to focus on doing the platform to bring the gamers to serve them actually. And also do not forget, right now, the number of gamers globally stands at 3.24 billion, and Southeast Asia is accountable for almost 1.2 billion itself. And then beside this stats, there's about 300 million esports player globally. Vietnam itself accountable for 10.2 million esports player. And so I really saw there's a need to build a platform to bring the players, the gamers, the traders, and because of the birth of blockchain, right, means I also will need to bring in Web3 gamers that particularly play the games involving NFT. So our platform have about 5 functions, but I would like to mention 3 main functions, which is a game aggregator that we help Web3 projects to be listed on our platform. And then we also focus on the marketplace, which will allow the GameFi projects to mint and set the selling price on our marketplace. The third feature will be our main core feature, which is the esports tournament. So when I met, thanks to my co-founder, who is also my currently chairman, Mr. Yuan Wong, for bringing me into this space. Because after I also go to dive in deeply into blockchain, I realized there's a lot of benefits blockchain can provide. I'm not saying that it's going to disrupt, but whether how we can bridge Web 2 to Web 3 and allowing gems to stay at Web 2.5.
Sure. So I think we've come to a very a very important topic today. It's about where Web3 and esports can actually converge. Because I think like definitely from the Web3 and the blockchain gaming space, there's, let's say, 3.3 billion plus gamers out there who haven't actually tapped in the Web3 gaming space. So actually, of course, the need to be able to kind of tap in the esports community and the Web2 gamers community is actually enormous for blockchain gaming projects. But let's say on the other side of the table, let's say for gems or for other Web2 esports gaming platform, where do you see the most prevalent use case for blockchain? Like, let's say, exist. If you can just like share maybe 2 or 3 kind of most prevalent and visible use cases, that would be great.
Yeah. So because the audiences here are probably are not involved a lot in the IT space, or maybe some of you are, but I'd like to start off first. Every one of us know the purpose of the platform, right? A platform is to connect. Google search engine is a platform. Food delivery is a platform. Grab is also a platform. So if you do realize that the trend now is also getting creating platform because it allowed you to be a neutral party, just like a shopping mall, right? Right? They open a shop, they open a mall, and they allow every people to come and take out different booths, different sizes and stuff like that. So the same for us as a platform, but this time it's online. We allow the projects to join us, but at the same time, if you compare to Web2 esports platform, because of the nature of the technology, it doesn't allow them to transfer money to a player, say across Southeast Asia, you need to go through bank regulations. And some countries, they even have restrictions that you cannot transfer money unless you need to prove your family members. Blockchain, one of the main feature, which is true, the digital wallet will help me to enable me to connect the gamers into one platform, because now I'm able to distribute the money after they join the tournament. The second problem is pro players are having some issues in the traditional Web2 esports space, because they join a team, they join a company. Sometimes there's a lot of social engineering problem arises because of human. But if you move on blockchain, computer take care of that part. When a player, a pro or semi-pro want to join a company, they can have the smart contract to protect them in the interest of the players. So, and who knows, we can create NFT for this pro player, and that can be transferable, just like how you transfer a soccer player, right? You can actually leverage on the kind of technology. But I still feel there's a lot of space how NFT can evolve, but definitely proof of ownership, proof of identification will help us to use blockchain to protect the player's interests.
Okay. So our recording, we're gonna record this one to share on our platform later, and we also actually have an in-depth article this week. Going deeper into the Web3 and the esports gaming space. Actually, we touch base a lot on some of the points that you mentioned, Andy. So it's about engage to earn, how we can actually have involved the gamers and the players in the game itself, not just as participants, but of course they can also be part of the ecosystem. They can be the creators. They can also be the co-owners of the whole platform. We also talk about
Exactly.
esports NFTs, yeah, and then of course I think you have mentioned. So we haven't been able to actually tap in like the majority or a lot of the use cases for NFTs as well, especially in esports. So I think pretty much we can see that there are a lot of these areas that Web3 can can deliver, can fill the gap, especially from the player side. But how do you think? Let's say, I mean, we understand that of course there are some of those use cases, but pretty much how, let's say, how eminent you see that those use cases can become reality. Because I mean, actually, of course, we can see that even with the esports kind of space right now. I mean, we have a number of these platform and a lot of the major kind of gaming studios who are actually kind of like dominating in the Web2 space. But let's say in terms of the adoption, how soon do you think that we can actually adopt or see a real use case of Web3 in this space, and even in the esports space? I think.
Yeah, actually, Gems started. We wanted to take our product powered by blockchain, primarily the two functions, which is a smart contract and digital wallet. We want to prove our thesis, our hypothesis is aligned with going to the market acquisition strategy. We organized a tournament, but we didn't do a Web3 because we want to mass migrate Web2, right? Powered by a platform. We did a tournament back in last year, July, a very first tournament. We do a very small one at a cafe. It's fully packed, we know. But then what caught my attention was that people are willing to register. People are willing to open the digital wallet to receive the prize money because they fight hard for it. At the end of the day, no matter how complex the tech is, students, being an amount that is as low as $10, they will go and figure a way out to go and cash out. I cannot say the same for some mature countries, which is why I'm not focused on Northeast Asia, China, Korea, and Japan, because they are very mature. They are more pro tournaments, right? So my focus is really on the biggest group of gamers, which is the community group. So we did a tournament. We did in July. We did in
Mm-hmm.
September. We did in August. And then while we are doing all this tournament, we are so lucky through one of our managing partner, we are able to get a contract from the second world biggest game publisher after Tencent, which is NetEase. Again, we prove, right? But it's so coincident that I didn't launch my token. It allowed me to work. Then when we solved the issue, we realized we cannot just have a crypto wallet. We need to have a dual wallet functions. So fiat to crypto, crypto to fiat. And then we work with our partners for that. So that is how you solve those payment solutions for the gamers. Because if you are just an esports platform, the finance part is the most difficult part. In this past 2 years, what I saw, you can build a great platform, but the payment part is not so straightforward.
Okay. I can, so do you think that actually like either payment or connect, let's say the community, let's say empowerment, are some of the pain points of Web3 game publishers that esports can actually help to fill the gap or address the problems? What do you think?
Yeah, be it Web 2 or Web 3, right? You look at XC Infinity, I was just attending the OKX demo day today. I was just also explaining the same thing, right? Because of these tournaments, we are able to migrate the users, but we are also resolving a lot of other issues as per se. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I feel that traditional game publisher, they are Tencent, Riot, even NetEase, they are already looking into blockchain. They already have a team to study them because they cannot deny the benefits that blockchain can bring. So they know, right? And game assets, traditional game assets do not allow you to trade, or it doesn't have a proof of ownership. What if we transform those traditional game assets? There's going to be plenty of platforms coming up this year to allow you to mint or easily convert Web 2 to Web 3. So I think there's a big space where Web 2 gamers are trying to leverage on the technology, but they are still studying because they have to figure out these are big companies with not millions, they have billions of gamers, right? They need to launch this properly. Otherwise, it's going to create a backslash by their gamers, and that's what they don't want. And that's what they can't afford to do so. So I think the adoption rate going to be slow, but surely it will be there one day. Just think of it like e-commerce, right? Like 20 years ago, e-commerce wasn't there. It takes time, right? Then we started to have WordPress. The technology evolution allowed easier onboarding. The keyword here is easy onboarding. If that's happened through the evolution of blockchain technology, I think once that explodes, blockchain will be a topic that everybody will start to talk about, where it is not right now. People talk about it, but the adoption rate is not there because of the complexity.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with you on the complexity, and we have a lot of things to resolve in terms of, I think, user friendliness and how we can actually onboard the 3 billion gamers out there who haven't really got into the blockchain space. So to our audience here, feel free to invite your friends and your team members to join us. If you have any questions to the speaker, feel free to type in the chat box, or you can also interact, or you can also speak up later to speak with our guest speaker here, Andy from GEMS. And then we're going to have another round of introduction by our project members. You can share about your project and the updates, your latest updates. So just get your message ready, get your questions ready, and then we can continue with our session, with our discussion here. So I think, Andy, so for our community here, we have around 1,600 members, and over half of them are project founders. And since we are focused in Southeast Asia mostly, so I would say over half of them are in the gaming space. So I think a lot of them, of course, they have been they have joined the space since last year, especially with the gamify uptrend. And for now, I'm trying to survive, and are trying to find the way to actually kind of, like survive this bear market. In your opinion, what are some of the ways for them to actually for them to be able to go through this, just to survive this winter? I understand that you mentioned a lot of these platforms by bigger, let's say, gaming studios. A lot of them, of course, I think pretty much, especially the Web2 platforms, they're trying to acquire, or they are trying to buy out, or of course, like they're looking at onboarding a lot of these gaming projects, even in the Web3 space. But let's say, what are some of the options available? Let's say feasible options for a gamify founder in the current market, in your opinion?
Yeah, Nico, I think that's an excellent question. While I appreciate, the founders having the great interest, great passion, and also a love for blockchain, but do not forget, we have to strategize in a way that we do not put too much focus on the technology and the pitch deck. Remember, the pitch deck is to help you to fundraise, is to help you to get partners, but it do not help you to acquire users. Even if the project has signed up a very big news or with a big super celebrity and stuff like that, the focus still got to be user acquisition, because you'll be forever having a status, but the status do not touch people's heart. In this place, they do not touch the gamer's heart. I feel because of what happened, and I appreciate it, do make the founders to rethink and re-strategize what should they do moving forward, knowing that the market right now have lost confidence in the crypto, not blockchain. Blockchain is still going to be adopted, but I really feel GameFi projects, whether small, medium, at these two level, they should think about ways to first. My suggestion, I've been in the market for so long, they should look at what their games is. If they are shooting game, MOBA, RTS, or mobile, then they need to re-strategize what kind of traditional games. They can go into the traditional games group and then spam to those people. Like if I'm a shooting game, I will go to Counter-Strike and try to find all the community and let them know you can play to shoot and earn. How about that? And also, do not be aggressive. Focus on one country instead of trying to take the whole world, because I realized that some of the founders are thinking that once I have a product, people naturally will use. It doesn't work that way. While blockchain is still a very beautiful infrastructure, but I really think that, like what you said, Nico, the UI UX, the complexity makes them very hard for them to onboard. So you want to make them simple. Yeah. So I mentioned those things. And the third thing that I think is really important is that come up with a game plan. That game plan is still focused on user acquisition, because technology will be easier and easier to adopt. If you think hard enough every day, I think you will be able to get users. I will pick an example of XC, because I'm going to do a tournament for them. They know that GameFi by nature, the game mode is boring, PvP. What do you want the fans to see, right? Don't forget, what makes a game hot is not the number of gamers. It is the fans that it brings to see them. So if they think how to focus on the user acquisition, they think long enough, I think they will have a solution. There's always a way. XC did 52 esports tournament last year. And this year, we are going to host a tournament for them in Vietnam across 60 universities. So they are very focused. That's why until now, they are still surviving. And they are, in fact, their token price went up during the bear market. And because of the tournaments that they did. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we have yeah, thank you for the feedback. So I'm pretty sure that's based on what you have shared. I think there are quite a few. So now is the time, but actually now then the founders can actually have some time to sit down and think about the product market fit, what they can actually pivot in this market in terms of products. And I think especially, of course, we still have some exceptional case where if the game founders, they can find, I think, the relevancy of the product with the current kind of market, and especially, of course, like tapping in the number of these, I think, platforms and also partners for collaboration. Still, they have to kind of think hard enough, as you mentioned, so how they can actually pivot and come up with a specific let's say with how they can prove the product in the current kind of market. So I think that that's also like a big question that not only the gamify projects, but also a number of, let's say, other supporting players. So we have the guilds, we also have a number of NFT marketplaces, which previously center around gamify projects. So this is a bigger question, not just for the gamify projects, but also to the larger ecosystem, that they have to think about how they can actually pivot in this way, because we have a number of other like supporting players as well in the market. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, Nico. I think just now you mentioned something that is very important, right? And I have to totally agree with you, is that they not only have to look at a few things, but there's also a few things, right? Tweaking the product and stuff. But I really think that end of the day, if they focus enough, right? Not on the technology, not on the product, but rather on the users. Because there's if blockchain is always a technology and no users, it's just like you're having a Ferrari car parked in your basement car park. Looks nice, Powerful engine, but who is going to ride with you and enjoy this? Nobody. So go out there and do something, guys.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I think you mentioned a lot about the fans, the community, and the users who can actually be who can be the real validators of the game in this current market. So I think, well, we are coming to I think some of the last questions in our kind of in our predefined questions before we can move to the Q&A from the floor. So we actually started with this one as the first town hall call into 2023. So we also want to know more about your predictions for 2023. So what's gonna happen in the blockchain gaming industry? So what do you think, is there any hope this year that we would be able to see some breakthroughs, or let's say some of the areas that you think might be more, might be the some of the potential growth drivers for blockchain
Definitely.
gaming? What do you
Definitely. Yeah. So my take about 2023, but first all my comrades here, stay till the end. Do not give up right now. Do not think that you do not have anything to do. There are many things to do. Talk to people. Instead of sitting down, talking to your team, scolding your team members to get things done, why not look at what are the successful projects out there in terms of the GameFi and why are they success? I always bring a skill with me my whole life. I always research my competitors. I research my winners because history give us data, and data allow us to make better decisions. It's a very simple process. I think everybody have this skill, but sometimes we may be too focused on other things that we forget the big picture, right? So my take about 2023 is, let's talk about blockchain. I feel that blockchain technology will still remain a big adoption because don't forget, we have suffered, or the crypto market has suffered so many financial turmoil. But the blockchain shut down? No. Because of all these people know that blockchain is here to stay. And maybe they will start to think this is the future. So if you ask me, the two things that I feel will mass market is still NFT. Look at Starbucks. They already allows they want to use their membership card. And I'm not sure what chain they want to use. Anyway, I don't really research that. But so NFT will be one of the way to match with traditional use because it's very easy to understand, right? Like transforming a physical a physical assets into a digital assets that has got ownership, authenticity, and tradable. So there's a lot of fun elements in it. Not only does it bring other kind of security functions. Beside NFT, I really feel there will be more and more marketplace as well. And also there's the third thing I feel there will be more and more not fintech. I call it maybe a decentralized a wallet with on-ramp, off-ramp solutions, gift card, because all this will help to do SDK plugin for the traditional companies to onboard. So NFT marketplace are the two main things that I feel for this year. In terms of, I don't want to comment too much on the financial, but I can speak a little bit on my own personal opinion. I feel that this bear market could last as long as from 12 to 18 months. We're not sure. There could be a slight boost somewhere in between. But then you guys have got to watch out, right? Because what we want is a steady, what we want to see sign that there's already a steady a recovery. We do not want a short move. We want to see that it's slow, but it's slowly progressing. And I think the whole market will still be back. Not forget, this is not the first time we experienced this anyway.
Okay, so I can see that basically from what you share. So we are looking at possible or potential innovations in terms of NFTs, in terms of marketplace, also in terms of I think the rampings and as you mentioned, so some SDK. So how we would be able to onboard the onboarding for users, especially from the Web2 space. I also personally like the idea about the data. So how you can, I mean, especially for the existing guilds or the gaming projects with the existing community or the data that you have, how you would be able to actually leverage that, also provide more tools for founders or other clients to be able to leverage on that in that that data, and it can also kind of pave the way for, let's say, more socialify I think apps or areas in which we can just tap in the data of the gamers and the community, so that it will be actually it can open up more, let's say, clientele from the Web2 space, as far as I see. Yeah.
Yeah, just to add on also, Nico, not to forget, right? I've probably seen through, I've gone through two financial crises, but then I can only tell you, right? When financial crisis, because it's monetary, everybody will take a very drastic mindset. But when the market picks up again, everybody, whatever that is drastic, whatever that is fat or those negativity, everything will just be gone. So don't take it like it's the end of the world. I have some projects that when I talk to them, I feel like it's the end of the world. No, it's the beginning of a whole new world. It's a revolution of internet. That's why it's called. They even term it and give it a name Web 3.0, and there's a reason why, right?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very assuring. I'm pretty sure that yeah, we still have a lot of members here with us after the bear market. So I think the sentiment is still pretty positive. Maybe we're gonna open the discussion to the floor right now, so we can take in more questions. Maybe Justin from Ancient 8, I see that you have turned on your mic. Do you have any question for our guest speaker?
Hey guys, I really apologize. I did not know that I turned my mic on. That was completely accidental. No, I actually don't have any questions, but I'm really enjoying the conversation that you guys are having, and I think it's so in alignment with the way that I'm thinking about the space going forward. I also really love that that the Axie tournaments from last year was touched on, because I'm also quite bullish on the fact that the token price has raised during the bear market, strongly due to the fact that Axie Esports is actually building still quite aggressively. And I think that the evolution of Web 3.0 esports is very much close to the way we see Web 2 esports, which is going to be talented players are going to have the most opportunity, but definitely achievements being tracked on chain and payments being paid out on chain is going to be the brighter future of what Web 2 esports is today. So I think that the esports realm is going to really be the thing that continues to push the space forward, because it has the most sustainable earning opportunity in the space, as we've seen. So yeah, just wanted to kind of put my 2 cents there, since my microphone is on anyway.
So right on the spot, Justin. And also, Justin, because you speak of that, right? Not forget, prize money. A lot of people from the traditional companies are also leveraging on esports to do the marketing. They don't turn, yes, billboard, TV, news media, media partner, online digital agencies. Things are still going, but when it comes to esports tournament, in terms of the marketing benefit it brings, first it brings you very young people. Very young means to the brands is a very long lifespan of the players buying the product. Look at all the big companies. Every Fortune 500 companies, McDonald's, P&G, automobile, across many different industries, they are all have done and continuously to put a lot of money into esports tournament, especially big brands car like Mercedes-Benz. Because when I was speaking to one of the guy in Singapore, they told me that they want the university students to grow up with Mercedes, and having that, they then maybe have a chance to buy their car.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more there. And I think for gaming, it's such an important factor, because esports are very much like LAN events, which it just brings the community together in person. So you get that IRL effect that we don't really get as much in Web3 unless we're going to major events. So it really brings the community together and strengthens the community. And I agree, it's a great branding opportunity.
Yeah, and it's just like football, right? It's so surprised. The stadium size is 100,000, but maybe the players, there's only, including the coach, maybe about 40. So you must know that through competitive, today's market, be it sports, music, or esports, when it's competitive, it creates interest with the fans. And when the fans come, they didn't bring one or two people, right? The ratio is probably like one player is to 100x, right? So that is so huge. And when you have viewership, that is where advertising will comes in then.
Okay, that sounds great. So I think definitely there's still so much potential, like in terms of the Web3 gaming in this sense. I mean, I also like spoke with some of the guys from the Philippines before. So I think that, so they said that naturally, I mean, XC, following the tournaments and all of the activities, they will come to a point where they can start monetize their IPs. And actually that can actually bring even more businesses into this space. And I think it's not just about XC, but we are talking about, of course, like a number of like smaller and also like gaming projects out there who can also like think about how they can have like very young users, as Andy mentioned. It's like like let's say back then we had the card game where people can actually still play the card game since they are like 10 until they are like 14 or 40 or something. And then I think even with the esports in the space, so we can actually think about like a longer future in 10 or 20 years, that we can still have this user base and start thinking about like more ways, like with the IPs, that they can actually acquire more users and leverage the community.
Yeah, Nico, I mean, you just talk about the age, right? Actually, because my maybe my parents' generation, they don't grow up with games, right? But just imagine 3.24 billion. So a 10 years old today will be 40 years old later. That guy could be still be playing game because they grew up with gaming. But it's not like our previous generation. So if you ask me, I think over the next 10 years with the Gen Z, their lifespan as a gamer is going to be at least more than 30 years, man.
Okay, definitely. Okay, so we're not going to be unemployed for long, right? We're going to be in the business for quite some time, hopefully.
Yes,
there are actually
yes.
some very interesting questions from the community, so I would just read out loud some of them here. So there's a question about Andy, since you have been working with a lot of these traditional esports organizations, so one of the question is, how do these organizations like Team Secret, Natus, Vincere, T1 Esports think about blockchain technology in the gaming industry? What do they see through the blockchain gaming? Is it just about preempting let's say the next kind of contenders in the gaming industry, or are they actually interested in the technology itself?
So if I have a chance to talk to Team Secret, Team and a few top teams as well, like Team Liquid, right? They came to me. We actually wanted to do NFT for them, but then they actually, somebody did an NFT with them, which is through ESL, and their NFT sales wasn't successful, right? Because I feel and their mindset is they just want to get rich through blockchain, because that's their mindset about blockchain. They don't really understand what it can resolve in terms of the entire world. So with the pro teams, I think between the pro teams and NFT or blockchain, right? Perhaps there still be a lot of minting. I'm seeing more and more websites allowing pro teams to mint their NFT and then allowing their fans to buy. But I still feel that market won't be matured because the entire whole world in terms of crypto or blockchain adoption is still very low. It's gonna take time. Will it happen? It will happen. NFT will change the way pro teams are being supported. Just imagine I mint an NFT and then I want to hold to. It's just like during my days, right? I have collectible sticker. I will buy a book and I will buy a sticker to stick. So that will be replaced by NFT. I want to support that. I keep the NFT. Maybe a lot of people buy them, that become monetizable. Then maybe people will say, oh, I can actually earn money by buying this NFT of this particular protein. But if you ask me right now, it's still very premature, guys.
Nice. There's another interesting question from Lily Chili, or the members. So she's saying that what if for some reasons blockchain does not have the support of famous esports organization? Would you think that blockchain gaming still thrive in that sense?
Obviously, I was speaking to one of the VCs before, and he did told me, he mentioned this in particular. He said, for blockchain gaming to be popular, we need all the pro esports team to join. It doesn't work that way, because pro esports team play League of Legends, Dota 2, CSGO. Those are not blockchain games, and it got nothing to do with blockchain games. So I don't think that having a esports team on your brand will help you to. It will help you to. It will help you to get your project noticeable. You will have a very good self satisfaction. But I'm so sorry. I'm very practical. It doesn't bring any values in terms of your product or neither to your NFT, guys.
Okay. There are some very interesting questions here. So also about, let's say the bigger players in the gaming industry. So one question is, those bigger players, they're starting blockchain. So they would be very careful, right, to adopt or launch their products. So pretty much we are talking about a lot of these, like, adoption and how we can actually, provide more ways for them to actually understand the use case, and also of course to develop their games into blockchain. So I think those would so for that we are actually coming very close to the end of our chat today. If there's any further questions from our audience, please feel free to speak up, and chat with our guest speaker Andy from GEMS. But if not, I think we can just like wrap it up today, and then we can just go ahead with some of the updates or introduction from the projects. So Andy, do you have any last word to the group here? I mean, we have a small but I think very diverse players from different guilds and games here today. So what would you have to say to everyone?
Thanks for some guilds and big brands like Infinite, Good Game 5 projects to join me today. Infinite, I will connect with you. Let's do a tournament after my exit, right? Okay. And I'll show you the power of esports tournament. Okay. So I'm in Hong Kong right now. One interesting thing that I saw because of the China opening up, I think this could help the market, right? Because I didn't thought, what if China open up? So because of China opening up right now, I'm seeing there's a tractions back, right? So clearly, not only Singapore is going to be a hub in Southeast Asia for blockchain. I think Hong Kong could be the next destination as well, because given the fact that of their geographical location and the language, and also the ease of opening business, right? So don't forget, there's a lot of stock exchanges that is still developed by the Chinese, and I feel with them, it's going to still make a big difference to the market. So just be patient, continue to do what you do, because when the bull market is back, you're going to go for a second round of fundraise. The question you need to ask yourself, what have you achieved over the past 6 months during the bear market? You cannot go back and tell them, say, we do nothing, right? So continue to build your product, but be very vigilant on your operating expenses. Yeah. Anybody who wants to come to Vietnam can look for me. I'm always in Ho Chi Minh. And thank you so much, Nico from APAC DAO for hosting this. And to the rest of the other projects, let's just LFG, guys, in 2023.
Definitely. That's a very assuring, let's say, concluding message. Thank you so much, Andy, for your time. So looking forward to seeing you in Vietnam soon. We are actually based in Vietnam. Like a lot of
let's meet up, Nico. I'll meet you up after Chinese New Year.
Definitely.
Thank you,
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you,
guys.
Andy. All right. Okay, so thank you. I mean, I've seen a lot of our members here from BNB Chain, Nation 8, a lot of the guilds and project founders also joining us for the call today. So before we conclude the chat, our town hall call, if you have any updates or any introduction about your project that you want to share with us, please feel free to unmute yourself or type in our chat box here. We would love to hear more from you. So I'm going to give you guys some time to really craft your message, and then hopefully we can have some introductions from our team members here. So don't be shy. This is our first town hall. We definitely want to hear more from about what you are doing, who you're looking to connect with, and if there's any updates, any features about your product or your project that you want to share with APAC DAO community. We're going to be launching our business matching program next week. And we have already got a number of partners signed up for the program, including Certic AWS and also Airfoil, a number of exchanges, a number of also like the production houses in all over Southeast Asia. So we really want to push with the business matching agenda this year. as I mentioned, so from like, especially in this bear market, we think that this is basically the time that you can actually sit down, think about your use case, the real utilities of your project, and definitely look out for more partners who can help you, who can jointly help you survive in the current market. So hopefully APAC DAO can be part of that endeavor, can be also like a partner in your Web3 journey. So hopefully we'll be able to support you, you know, with your, of course, with your plan this year in 2023. So looking forward, you know, to having more members joining us and also supporting this, you know, APAC DAO with our activities coming up with business matching, events, and more about town hall call. So next week we are having another call about metaverse. So tentatively we're going to have Sandbox and also C Game, which is the development house of Sandbox in Singapore. They are working on a program supporting more SMEs in Southeast Asia and also in Asia as well, Hong Kong and Taiwan. So we also want to be supporting them, you know, in getting the message out, getting the message across about this program. And hopefully we'll be able to onboard more SMEs from the Web2 space too, joining us with Metaverse and also with the blockchain space. So I think pretty much, unless there's any further introduction or any update on the project, we look forward to having you with our next town hall call, you know, next Wednesday with Sandbox and C Game. We'll have a lot of things to discuss about Metaverse and so on, because we believe that, of course, it's still one of the bigger trends that we can also, you know, look forward to in 2023. So once again, thank you guys so much for your time. Looking forward to seeing you again next Wednesday.
Yep.
And
Thank you, Nico,
again,
and
Andy,
wish everyone a very
time.
happy new year.
Yeah, wish everyone happy new year, and feel free to suggest any topics or any speaker that you want to be invited to our town hall call. So hopefully we can also, you know, definitely have a series of resourceful town hall calls from here. Thank you guys so much for your time. Have a great night,
Bye.
evening, morning, anywhere you are. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye-bye.